The Edge crew is out in Diepsloot, Johannesburg today to find out exactly what's cooking on the tech front in this community. So we're interrupting business as usual and checking in with Jeffrey Scott from What If Technology. How are you doing?
Well, thank you. Grab
Good, thank you. Jeffrey, what is What If and where did this all begin?
Well, the What If Trust is a special purpose vehicle that spends the money that companies contribute in terms of their BEE scorecard on socioeconomic, enterprise and supplier development. It's been operating in Diepsloot for, well, at least since 2011 and in the centre since 2013.
So Jeffrey, what made Diepsloot a special pick for What If?
I think we took a decision quite early on to, rather than be involved very shallowly in lots of communities, is to be very deep in one community, and Diepsloot turned out to be it.
Well, there's a number of spin-offs that actually is the result of the funding and things that you guys actively produce almost every single day. Talk us through those.
The What If Trust is engaged in a number of areas: women and children, the environment, but also in how technology enables communities like Diepsloot to improve their lives. And that's the role I play in the What If Trust. You've
built a campaign around hashtag Diepsloot 2030. What's the vision here? And it definitely speaks about the future.
Indeed. So hashtag Diepsloot 2030 is attached to the International Social Goods Summit. Between Nelson Mandela Day and the 28th of September last year, when the Social Goods Summit happened, we ran 67 days of digital activism. And in that process, we involved all of the people like us who are involved in technology in Diepsloot, as well as many of our township entrepreneurs who are involved in technology and the broader tech community in Diepsloot. So for us, it was an opportunity to create a vision for Diepsloot that's enabled by technology and really do some exciting stuff.
How do you feel What If and technology has been an enabler to this community and the success thereof so far?
Well, it's early days yet, but you'll meet a couple of our technology entrepreneurs later on, and certainly some of the projects that we've run through the What If Trust have been quite dependent on technology. So whether it be agriculture, whether it be online radio, whether it be online community newspapers, we've really pushed initiatives like that and really tried to turn them into opportunities for youngsters to engage in the technology space and build businesses for themselves.
Well, Jeffrey, we love your work, and it is clear to see that technology and innovation is running deep in Diepsloot. The What If Trust already has a few great success stories under their belt, two of which are standing with me. I'm with Helen and Hector, and you're from Kanda Installations and Repairs. Your speciality, though, is two-way radios and solar installations. Tell me about the evolution of your business.
Kanda Installation Repairs was started in 2014 at Diepsloot Father Louis Blondel Center. We are specializing in two-way radios. We are the frequency communication company. We repair, service the two-way radios.
So tell me, what has the demand been like for your products within the Diepsloot community and maybe even beyond?
Solar installation, there is a demand because there is a squatter camps in Diepsloot, and there is a lot of electricity shortage in Diepsloot. That's why we came with this product, like the lights where you can charge your cell phones and have a light for 3 days.
And the two-way radio systems?
The two-way radio solution, we came with this idea because here in Diepsloot there is a lot of security companies whereby they are not afford to go to your four-ways to Pretoria to get the radios. So we came with this idea so that they can get the two-way radios.
You've had great support thus far in starting your business. How are you hoping it's going to grow from here?
We hope our company is going to grow because some of our community are using candles. They don't have the place to charge their cell phones. So when we go out there, people are looking for our products.
Well, Helen and Hector, we wish you all the best with your future ventures, and it seems that repairs and solar installations are bringing the heat in Diepsloot. Well, news reporting and knowing exactly what the buzz is in your community is pretty vital. And that's where Patricia Masalesele comes in, multitasker of the Diepsloot Times. Tell me, what happens in a typical day?
Okay, firstly, I have to combine different articles sent by different reporters. Then I have to decide which ones to go for publication. We have to publish at least 3 or more articles per day. And then the other thing that gets me working throughout the day, I have to work on advertising as well.
And with a big smile, which is fantastic. Yes. Now, I want to know why you chose to not go print, but keep your platform strictly digital when it comes to news.
Well, I've realized people are moving away from print. Most people are always on their cell phones, and people no longer have time to go out and buy newspapers or read newspapers, but then they're constantly on their cell phones.
Is there a big drive to carry your news over from your main platform through to social media daily as well?
Yes, whatever article that we publish, we also link to Facebook and Twitter accounts. So we're also on Facebook and Twitter.
I love that you're one step ahead. Well, can I just say, if your news is in the hands of Patricia, it's definitely going to be handled well and then some.
Don't go away, because coming up, we're checking out Scratchbox with Hypertext Africa and meeting some more tech startups in Diepsloot.
Catching up with Donald and Sly from the SMPC, which stands for Sloot Motion Picture Collaboration. Woo, got it in the bag. Okay, now you've got to tell me exactly what kinds of projects you take on around Diepsloot.
Okay, basically we do your short filming documents and also the events that are taking place in the community. For example, today there is a training that is taking place, and then they've invited us to capture it.
And that falls into the corporate line of work for you then, Donald?
Yes, so it's like today we were invited to actually by the other company, so to actually document their work. And actually they are running a training session program. So now they wanted us to come and document that.
So how long has the SMPC been going for?
So Sloot Motion Picture actually started in 2014 as a direct response to the SABC's call for proposal for local content. We came together as young filmmakers to actually we designed a need to form a collaboration, because if you are one, then you cannot do filming alone. So
it's an army.
Right. Find directors, producers, so it's a team that is well equipped.
To date, what's been one of your most exciting projects or stories that you've covered from Diepsloot?
Well, we did a 5-minute documentary last year. As you know, that Diepsloot has been portrayed as a bad place. So now we wanted to find a good story about Diepsloot, and then we did a 5-minute documentary about that.
What are some of your goals in terms of growth with what you're doing and world domination?
Well, the aim actually is to produce and develop a Nollywood type model of film in Diepsloot.
So it will be known as Dollywood very soon.
Yeah. Where we'll produce and develop stories about Diepsloot. In 5 years, we would like to have that Oscar award for sure.
Hey, love it! Squad goals. Well, there you have it. Soon there will be an Oscar coming to Diepsloot near you. Well, we've just touched down at the Zikuleseni Skills Center, and it's quite a little hub. There's everything from computer skills to sewing. Tell me more.
Sure. Well, the Zikuleseni Skills Centre is part of the Bopalong Precinct. Bopalong Precinct is owned by the Methodist Church. This particular centre was built as a skills centre. We have a computer skills centre called Siakula, sponsored by a company called Legit. They do the basic Microsoft Office-related training. Right over here, we've got the I Love Diepsloot brand, supported by an organisation called Jacobs Well. They do wonderful leather laptop cases, handbags, repurposed leather, repurposed fabrics, outlets in places like OR Tambo.
How does one actually get to participate and provide them with materials to work from?
Well, everything from equipment through to providing them with raw materials to providing them with markets or outlets.
So, Jeffrey, all that said, who passes through the hub on a day-to-day basis?
virtually all manner of shapes of people. There's a huge focus on youth here. We've got the Women's Empowerment Projects just down the way there. We've got quite a recent addition to the precinct, which is the Riza Babuyile Biz Hub, and that's really aimed at incubating small technology businesses. So what's really nice is that you have kids coming out of the computer schools with a basic knowledge of computers and now can enter a space where they can really get in depth into the industry and start businesses hopefully around what they're doing. So that's a very exciting addition to what's happening here.
Well, now it seems that you don't only have the Internet of Things, but here it's the hub of things.